and I'm not going to continue. Hooligans, EPL Hooligans, welcome, welcome, welcome again. So the second weekend of football has ended. I'm dressed in a Manchester United jersey. If you can see here, it's signed by Dwight York. It's a jersey that was given to me by a friend of mine in Northern Ireland, a mentee of mine in Northern Ireland, an avid United fan. And you can tell by the thumbnail where I am going with this week's roundup or report. What is happening with Man United is the question I would like people to answer. Like my friends who support this club, this renowned club, I would like you all to answer this question. What is happening with Man United? If you look behind me, you see empty stands, you see empty football field, and that's what Man United deserves to be playing to. Empty stadiums at the minute, based on how they are starting the league. And not just how they're starting, but when you look on how they are playing, they're a substandard team. And pundits like ex-Man United player Roy Keane needs to keep his mouth shut. Now, I'm no EPL player, EPL star, or whatever it is, but he's sensationalizing the football thing. When you are going to come out and make it seem as if Man United is a top tier team and say that some players are not good enough to be playing in Man United. No, these players, if they are not good enough to be playing in Man United, they're not good enough for the EPL at the minute, because Man United sits at the bottom of the tables. I know I promised that I was not going to make mention of tables, but I can't avoid it. The standings. And I am not using the standings to say where teams will finish at the end of the season, but I just want to say it's appalling for any Man United fan to go to the tables and see Manchester United, this badge, sitting in 20th position at any stage of any season. It's unthinkable. Unthinkable. But is it deserved? I believe, based on how Man United finished last season, even I would say based on how they came into last season, promising and not delivering, they deserve to be at this position right now. Do they deserve to finish there? No. I'm not like those fans who are going to say Man United should be relegated. I know that's the title, but let me answer the question. No. I want to see the teams which have a reputation for success competing for the EPL title, competing in the top tier of the EPL, because I believe that the EPL is the best league in the world. But I can say what Man United has promised and failed to deliver, they deserve to be here. They don't deserve to finish, I believe, lower than 11th. I will satisfy, for humbling purposes, that Man United finishes in an 11th position, because they're not playing like a top 10 football club for sure. When they made some changes on the weekend, yes, you saw glimpses of what Man United has to offer. They started creating chances, crosses were coming in to Cristiano Ronaldo, and they looked okay. What Man United has to understand, that at this moment, the football world is not so much built on sentiments. Man United is not going to, at this point in their journey, attract already made world-class players. But they need them. What Man United has to do is to humble themselves, recognize where the club is, recognize where EPL football is, and step down to the reality. Because if you listen to the pundits, the ex-Man United pundits, they seem to think that Man United is still a top-tier EPL team, and they are not. they have not been a top tier EPL team for a few seasons. Yes, they have to take that humbling at this juncture in their journey and start to rebuild. Start to find players, the likes of a Carvahlo that Liverpool has found. Players who can help you to, again, kind of reseat yourselves over the next 5 years. It is going to take at least the next 5 years for Man United to reseat themselves in the top tier of EPL football. They have been humbled, and if you listen to the pundits and the arrogant fans of Manchester United, you would think they're still the best team in the EPL until the Reds. And I'm not going to continue. I know this may seem disrespectful, but I'm not going to be those who burn it. I treasure this jersey because, as I say before, it has the signature of Dwight York, a Trinidad, a Caribbean international. But as it stands right now, Man United deserves to be playing in front of empty stands. And I'm not going to disrespect this jersey by putting it on the floor either. I respect Man United as a club. I respect Man United has done for the EPL. But at this moment, they are indeed playing like a bottom tier team. Now on to greater. Before I even switch gears, as I said before, Man United has to recognize that what they need to start investing in is potential. If Man United does not start to invest in potential, they are going to continue and they are going to fade away. When I just started watching EPL as a Jamaican, there were teams like Leeds United, Sheffield United, Nottingham Forest, of course the Liverpool, the Manchester United, the Chelseas, they were there. But football has changed, and some of these teams that were renowned in England, they have lost their places. And if Man United is not careful, they are going to continue to slip because of sentimentalism. Man United does not play any kind of football to attract already made world-class players. There was a hype over Bruno when he came into the league, and I said to people that Bruno is not a world-class player. Bruno does what I can do on a Sunday evening football, which you saw in my last vlog. I can switch the ball from one side of the field to the next when given space. I can make what looks like an intelligent pass against the run of play or in the run of play when I am given space, because my Sunday evening football is very slow paced. When I am given space, I can do what Bruno is doing. If you give me a penalty to kick, chances are I am going to net it. I would give myself 7 out of 10 times against the best keepers in the world. But Bruno has to show to the EPL that he can do what the likes of a Thiago, though Thiago is very temperamental in how he plays. He's able to do what a De Bruyne, a KDB, a Silva, a Gundogan, and yes, I'm calling City players, are doing currently, and I'm calling those players because the reality is these are the players who are standout players. Yes, these are standout midfielders, and Bruno has not proven that to the EPL, and he has disappointed Man U fans. He came as a wonder boy, had a wonderful season scoring penalties and scoring against the lower tier teams. He has not performed against any top 6 team properly where we can say, yes, Bruno, you are the man. He needs to be able to show me, like a Hazard used to show us, that under pressure he can still remain intelligent. Under pressure he can still make the telling passes into his forward line that will result in goals. He has not proven that to me. I don't know about you, but he has not proven that to me. And Manchester United need players who can come into Manchester United, linkmen especially, can come into Manchester United and effect those passes. Manchester United also have an issue with holding midfielders and central defenders. Harry Maguire needs to go. You should have come out of the transfer season or the transfer window having replaced Harry Maguire, causing Harry Maguire to have to step up or rub the bench, as we would say in Jamaica. The McFred combination should have been, you should have gone after players, even younger players, to come into Manchester United and rub out McFred out of your team. Yes, Keane is correct that McTominay and Fred are not good enough to be playing in that role, and they're not good enough to be playing in that role in the EPL at all, based on how they have been played, not just in Manchester United. So Man U has to take the humbling and get some young players who can at least cause them to finish 11th. They have 9 places to go up, and yes, these are early days, but they're not giving me any sign that they are able to do such. Now, on to more sobering news. Again, Liverpool played a game today, Monday, the 15th of August, and drew. Another come from behind result for Liverpool. However, when I watch a Liverpool who based on the table now sits in 12th place, I see a tamed beast. Not a beast that is being tamed by external factors, but a beast, let me say a caged beast. When I watch Liverpool, I can see Liverpool finishing second, even though they have gotten off to a bad start. I can see what Liverpool is, though they have drawn their last 2 games. When I watched Liverpool today, for example, and saw Liverpool drawing against Crystal Palace, I am saying that this was a game that Liverpool should have won. If I had called this game prior to, I would have called this game again for Liverpool. And watching the game, Liverpool should have won the game. What Liverpool has shown us, however, or not Liverpool per se, but Darwin Nunez has shown us, however, and what people have to be careful of is Liverpool allowing individuals within the EPL to, as we would say, drag out Darwin Nunez. So Darwin Nunez has allowed himself to be found out, and I hope this is not his modus operandi, because if it is his modus operandi, there are many intelligent midfielders and defenders in the EPL who are going to provoke him. He lets down Liverpool today. Because, and yes, I understand that the 10 men played even better than the 11, but you cannot depend on that to win the EPL or to win any competition at all. Darwin Nunez should have not responded the way he responded. He was provoked, of course. But in spite of that, you are a professional player. You are playing in the biggest competition in the world. You should have held your cool. If this is how he's going to behave, there will be other provocations in the EPL from, again, intelligent midfielders and intelligent defenders who are going to provoke him. He's going to be tackled and tackled aggressively to see if he's going to respond. And if he does respond in like manner, then Liverpool will have to find themselves another replacement for him. He has the potential to do well, but his temperament has to be adjusted. One of the bright sparks that came on for Liverpool in the first game and this game again is Carvahlo. Very young player, but a player who shows potential. A player that the likes of a Man United needs to go after if they are going to rebuild for the future. Because let's face it, Rashford is a promising young player, but Rashford has not shown or realized his potential. Martial was left on the bench. The likes of Lingard was swapped out and sent away to West Ham. Another wonderful season. We look on the likes of a Sancho who was bought last year and came in but has failed to deliver. Man United has to be going after players the likes of a Carvahlo, a player who seems to have the right temperament and as well the right skill sets. If they don't do that, they are going to fade away. So Liverpool, for me, I'm not nervous about Liverpool finishing in 12th or finishing outside of the top 4. I would say I'm not nervous of Liverpool finishing outside of the top 2. Because watching Liverpool against Fulham and against Crystal Palace, I'm seeing a tame beast. I'm seeing a beast who is just not yet coming into their potential. And Liverpool definitely has that under their belt. I want to shout out because when I saw James Milner coming in for Liverpool against Fulham, I was like, is this what Liverpool has to resort to? And a golden age player, but Milner has come in and has shown why, again, he's a class player. Why he is a player who will stand out in his age group in the EPL, because he's going to work himself to the ground. He's dependable. What he's placed on the football field to do, he's going to do it. And looking at that game, well done. Now going to the Tottenham and Chelsea game. I've only seen highlights of this game because I was otherwise occupied. And it's sad that what stands out in my mind in that game, apart from the on the field, was the after effects of the draw between both coaches. Now again, it's great to see this level of rivalry coming from coaches. A coach should never take a bad result like they are attending a tea party at Buckingham Palace. I want to see aggression from coaches. I want to see coaches having this kind of heated interaction on the sideline and setting the pace for their players. Now people who watch football may say, no, we want to be very disciplined. Football and sports overall is very ego driven. It is very adrenaline driven. It is very status driven. And because male football, EPL, has a lot of testosterones running about, we expect to see these kind of things. And we want to see these kind of things. Let's talk about Arsenal. Arsenal won their game yesterday. I'm happy for Jesus. I'm a Brazilian fan. I'm happy for Martinelli. I'm a Brazilian fan. And this argues well for Brazil going into the World Cup. But what I will say, hooligans, is this. It was an ugly win in a good way for Arsenal. Arsenal dominated the game. Arsenal played good football at different points. But I can't, bless up my J, but I can't say that what I'm seeing from Arsenal is strategic football being played where I can say, okay, this is the strategy or the tactics that is being employed by the coaching staff. Many people say strategy and tactics are overrated. The reason why I can't say that is that the winners of the EPL this season, well, this outgoing season, the season before, and the season before that, a Liverpool and a Manchester City are tactical teams. And they're showing to us that tactics work. They're showing to us that strategy works. Pep was asked a question recently about strategy, if strategy is overrated. And he says that he will adjust his strategy to ensure that the best comes out in the various players that come to Manchester City. If you ask Klopp again, Klopp plays a high press strategy, and this has worked for them. It has worked for them. So I can't overrate or underrate strategy from my perspective. I want to see Arsenal playing through the middle and up to the final third in a strategic way, using tactics to overrun teams. What I saw were 11 players on the field who were playing with guts. When it's reached to the top of the field, through the Odegaard, through the Jesus and to the Martinelli and to the Saka, I saw players who are talented and gifted and have developed some level of understanding between themselves, and they use that to win the first game, and they are using it again to win the second game. Very good look, Arsenal, but I want to see a fluidity of play from the first third or the defensive third to the middle of the field, upward to the final third, and that is how you're going to be consistent. If you're playing how you're going to play now, I am predicting, bless up my G, I am predicting that what is going to happen is that Arsenal is going to fade by the 10th or 15th game, because they are not playing a strategic football. I'm not seeing a pressing up the field. I'm not seeing the transition from defense to midfield to the final third, and I'm not seeing that kind of defensive aggression in the final third, which is the attacking third. If you look on the teams that are contending for the EPL, the Liverpool and the Manchester City, when the game breaks down in their attacking third, immediately the attacking players become the defensive players. And I believe, again, I'm not even going to look at other leagues, because I personally believe that the EPL is the best league in the world. And teams that play that high press kind of football will always get the better results. Until them time, and we'll catch up again before the week ends. This is Tibor checking out EPL Hooligan. I made that. Big up.